I'm speaking with Bank On manager Mia Wesner to discuss how the latest Heart of Florida United Way program can help families save money while banking. Hi, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and the program?
Yeah, I'd love to. So my name is Mia Wesner. I am the Bank On manager at the Heart of Florida United Way. So I run the Bank On program that we have. It's a new program there, new as of 2022. And what we do is we primarily help those who are unbanked completely without any type of bank account whatsoever, maybe have had one in the past but don't currently, and underbanked individuals, so in households. So that would be people that maybe do have a bank account right now, but they're not really actively using that. They might be using a lot of alternative services or financial services, check cashing institutions and places like that. So what Bank On does is let people know that Bank On certified accounts are an option available to them. They are checking or prepaid accounts that are offered by a number of different banks in and around both Florida and nationally. And these accounts are primarily made with an easy access point. So they're very low cost to get in and have an account. They have very low maintenance fees. They do not have any overdraft fees whatsoever. They do not include any sort of what people generally refer to as hidden fees, what that they might not know about if they haven't had an account before in the past, or if they're not familiar with what can be included with those accounts. So Bank On is a program that helps share and provide the awareness that these accounts exist and that they can really help out in terms of finding a good financial foundation.
How does Bank On support residents in Central Florida?
Yeah, so like I said, Bank On is it's for everyone. We're primarily just spreading awareness right now to let residents know that these accounts exist. That's the primary goal at the moment. But obviously we want to build on the list of accounts that we do currently have and provide even more options for people. But they can help by, like I said, having a good financial foundation, starting out with a good checking account that'll lead you to a good savings account, and have those additional financial tools to be able to manage your money in a very easy way, and one that will save the most money. When you use alternative check cashers or alternative financial services, those can really end up costing a lot in fees that they add on to things, and people might not be aware of how much it actually adds up to be at the end of the year. If you are unbanked, the average statistic right now is that you'll spend about 5% of your annual income just on fees if you are unbanked. So just, I guess, to put that a little bit more into perspective, if someone is making $25,000 a year, say, they're going to a check casher, they're not using a bank account responsibly, that they could be paying as much as $1,250 per year in just fees, by not even having a bank account. So first of all, to let people know that bank accounts can really help them out in the first place, and second of all, to let them know Bank On accounts, certified accounts, are available across the market and can be a really huge help in starting out on a good foot.
Where are these Bank On accounts? Is it a certain bank or?
Yeah, that's a great question. So they are with a number of different banks. We have 25 banks that are currently offering Bank On accounts online that can be opened. We've also got more banks that are offering accounts, just not available online per se. You might have to go into a branch to open those. But 25 at least in the state of Florida that can be opened online very easily within 5-10 minutes. But they're offered by all sorts of banks. We've got Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, Capital One, Truist, Regions, Stearns, I think is another one. We've got just a whole slew of different options available.
And how can someone qualify for one of these accounts? What do they have to ask for?
That's a great question. So there are no specific restrictions to get these accounts, which is great. There isn't any sort of income level or threshold that you have to be at or under in order to qualify. You just can go into a bank, select your account, let them know that you want the Bank On certified account. If you're able to go online and see what the name of their specific account is, for example, TD, theirs is called the Essential Checking Account. So it doesn't have Bank On in the title per se, but if someone was able to look at the list and see TD is on the list of certified accounts, I'd like to select that one. They can see, okay, that Essential Checking Account is going to be the best option for me. Go into the branch and ask for that. So they're called all sorts of different stuff, but they can easily find the existing current list on our webpage. We have a comparison chart of accounts where all of the ones that are available in Florida currently are listed. And basically what we've done is gone through and kind of made it an easy at-a-glance way for people to choose or select an account. So like I said, we have 25 that are available. It's kind of a lot to choose from when you go on. So what we've done is highlighted the accounts that offer additional features. So some of these have fraud protection available. They have credit card or credit building products offered as well. Some of them have Zelle. A lot of them have Zelle, which is an easy money transfer service. It's completely free. Some of them, the Bank On National Account Standards for these accounts say that the minimum account starting deposit amount that you have to open an account is $25. About half of the accounts that we have currently on our list are zero. You don't even need anything to get started. As long as you fund the account, I believe usually within 60 to 90 days, you can take it from there. But if you just want to have something opened to set up direct deposit or to get things organized before you've got the funding available, you can do that. So they can go online, they can look at a glance. There are some that have interest bearing. There are some that are able to receive your paycheck a little bit early. There's a Capital One account on there that we have. It's a Bank On certified account where they will release your paycheck 2 days early, which is a really big feature for a lot of people that are using fintech apps, especially, or alternative services. So that's where they can be found. I would say go to our website and check it out because we've got a lot of great features there.
So there's no minimum deposit required?
The minimum to start and to open an account, according to the standards, say that it can't be more than $25. But a lot of banks that do offer these accounts say there is no minimum. It just depends on the account that you choose.
Okay, what about documentation?
So that would be the same as if you were to open any other bank account, essentially. So generally, the requirements are at least one, if not two, forms of ID. And that can vary depending on the bank, what they're looking for, what they'll accept. But generally that and either a social security number or an EITN number will also work. Again, just depends on the bank and sort of what they'll accept. But yeah, that's really all you need. And then ideally, if you have funds that you're wanting to transfer immediately, then obviously the account information of the previous account would be useful. But aside from that, that's really all they need. Just 5-10 minutes on the computer if they're able to do it mobily or online. If not, you can always go into a branch and sit down with an associate and they can help you open an account.
Okay, and there's no overdraft fees?
Nope. There are no overdraft fees. There are no insufficient funds fees. There will never be any opening fees, closing fees, inactivity fees, dormancy fees. None of those are allowed on these accounts. So guaranteed, you are not going to get penalized for not having, enough money in your account.
Or not using it.
Or not using it. Exactly. A lot of people, they'll fall into kind of either they're going to be in between a job or they're not working, they got sick because of COVID, whatever the case may be. But they're not having that automatic income coming in that directly deposited. And just, not having that and not having those funds, if you get to that low balance or inactivity, things like that, if you have to put a pause on it, you don't have an income stream, then you shouldn't be penalized for that. Definitely. And, same with overdraft. If you don't have money in your account and you don't know it, then, you can go into the negatives and not have any idea until you go to check. And then all of a sudden, however much money in fees. And, if you don't have that money to begin with, then you're just being punished for not having the money in your account, which is not ideal for anyone. So yeah, the bank on accounts, the certified accounts are not going to have any of those fees to worry about. And they're also sometimes known as a second chance account as well. So again, the barrier for entry, ideally with these accounts, is much lower. To where if you've had that banking history in the past and you've gotten hit maybe with some fees or whatever that may be, the Bank on National Account Standards strongly recommend that banks only deny new users in cases of actual fraud. So unless someone's committed actual fraud, we really strongly recommend to financial institutions that those new users, new clients are able to be approved for a new account.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous that you can't put $100 in a bank account and just have it sit there to save it, and then you go back and it's gone because every month they took money out.
Right, and that's
and then even went beyond that, and then you were in a negative, and then they start charging overdraft fees on $100 you're just trying to put away and save.
Right, and that's a great point with a monthly maintenance fee that you're talking about. You put $100 in there, the maintenance fee is $15 a month. Then at the end of the year, you've got nothing in your account.
And then they're charging you money.
Right.
for not having anything in the account.
Exactly.
The money that they took.
Exactly. So yes, with a bank on certified account, though, that is another feature, is that they will only ever cost a maximum of $5 monthly maintenance fee per month, and even that can be waived most times. So these accounts are either low cost to no cost. Most of the time, 9 times out of 10, they'll have a waive feature if you do enroll in direct deposit or if you use a bill pay option. Bill pay is another feature that's along with these accounts that is meant to save money or help people save money. There
could be a fee for that too in some banks.
There can be sometimes. Usually the fees are charged by the utility provider, but bill pay is, usually if the banks have that available, it does have to be free with a bank on account. If they do not have a bill pay option currently available, if they don't, some of the banks aren't quite there yet with their online services. If they don't offer that bill pay option, they can still have a bank on certified account, but they have to offer at least 4 free money orders or cashier's checks per month to that user or account holder. So again, just another, if you're going out and you're using a check cashing service to, purchase money orders at the end of the month, chances are you're spending at least $5 to do that on, 2 or 3 different utility providers. So that right there is your monthly maintenance fee for a bank on account. Like, you've already spent it, and you're not going to get charged anymore. You know what I mean? So if that, a lot of times, like I said, they can be waived altogether.
Yeah, and checks, are they free with the account?
Checks are generally not included. It depends on the account. So it varies from bank to bank and credit union as well, because they're involved in this. But the most of the time checks are just not offered, or physical checks are not offered. Obviously, you can still deposit checks at whatever that institution is, and transfer funds. Generally, they will have Zelle, like I said, is a popular way to do it. But a lot of times they do have other internal tools that they'll offer to be able to transfer things without needing the paper check.
How can the community support the Bank On program?
Yeah, well, ideally, this program will definitely support the community, but we do have a Bank On coalition that is a corresponding coalition with our program. It's the Bank On of Greater Orlando Coalition, and that is really a group of banks and credit unions as well as regulators and a very large group of nonprofits, resource providers, United Way being one of them, obviously. But we basically, the coalition guides this program. So anybody who wants to get involved, I would encourage them to join our coalition. They can reach out to me, and I'm happy to get them connected and get them involved. We meet, currently it's every other month, but that could change at any time. It just depends on the activity and what's going on throughout the year. But I would encourage them to get involved if they want to, spread the word. Anybody that we do have that is looking for, presenters or experts in this subject, in this field, if they're looking for those to be able to provide not only financial literacy resources, but also talking about what we're talking about, having the conversation around banking specifically. I think that that's something that we definitely want to continue talking about more, providing and spreading the awareness and letting people know that these accounts are available, especially, young people that are going to work for the first time, want to make sure that they're set up for success, people that are still navigating maybe some of the digital world and the digital divide, if you will. That's another area we can help out in kind of opening up the accounts, providing guidance to have people open or sign up for a new account if that's something that they're interested in. So, I would say that, if anybody in the county or residents do want to get involved, reach out to me. I'm happy to, talk with you and invite you into our coalition if that's something that you'd like to get involved in.
And how can they get in touch with you?
Yes, my email is probably the best way. It's mia.wessner@hfuw.org. But certainly our webpage also has that listed. So if they're searching, all you have to do is search Bank On Orlando. And our Heart of Florida page will come up with Bank On. That has all of our information listed there as well. So all of our resources can be found on that page. I have to give a shout out to our funder for this program. Wells Fargo is the reason why I'm here today and the reason why we're able to provide this program to the community. They have an initiative with their diversity and inclusion plan. That's a 10-year plan, and Bank On is a part of that. We want to make sure that they are getting able to reach areas where traditionally they are residents that are underserved and not able to have access to those services. So shout out to Wells Fargo. Thank you so much for their grant and their funding. They are the sponsor of this program, so have to give them credit where it's due. But yeah, this is something we definitely hope to continue building on with our coalition, with the program. We'll be out there in the community, so you'll see us out there, around and at tabling events and doing as much outreach as we can. We want to make sure that everybody who wants a safe and secure and affordable bank account can get connected with one.
Yeah, well, thank you so much again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks.
If you're enjoying this show, please subscribe to our channel and follow our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter accounts.